All right, Jeff and Dave, time to put the sobering restoration sticker on the DD Speed Shop 57. I decided we're going to put her right here on the back window. We got the other sponsors on that side, so I thought this was a good spot for you guys. So let's see if I can get her on there without screwing it all up. Chances are small, probably. Well, good morning there, YouTube. It is the next day and we're back out in the Montana garage and we're gonna mess with 57 a little bit more. Oh, look at there. Moose is inspecting the inside. What'd you find? Anything good? Probably not, huh? Well, let me know if you find something. All right, back to what we're doing. Last night, I lost a couple files on the GoPro, so I don't know if I have what I'm talking about here or not, but I worked on the plug wires. I just kind of organized the plug wires a little bit, zip tied them together. Hopefully you'll see some of that. And then, well, I guess before that, I went for a little spin. It got dark because I had some friends come over before I got to drive it after messing with the ignition system. But I did go for a little drive last night. My battery was dead, so I wasn't able to film it. But it seemed like it ran a little better. So this morning, I'm just kind of giving it a once over, make sure I didn't leave any tools in here. And then we're gonna fire it up. And I still don't have plates, like I said before, so I can't like drive forever. But I guess you guys can let me know if I'm wrong, but I think you need to drive these things a little bit for this Phytech thing to kind of learn, you know, how the motor's working and all that stuff. And then once it learns, then you can go in and make some changes as needed or something. Hey, that was a rodeo, huh, Moose? See, you needed that Canadian hood prop. It just jumped up on the hood and down she went. Good thing I wasn't under there. Anyways, I was gonna shut that anyways. Appreciate that, Moose. Let's hop off the car and start it up and go for a ride. All right, I think this thing should fire right up. Let's plug this bad boy in. All right, so she fired up. Let's let it warm up a little bit. And then we'll go for a cruise. Drive around for a second, get her a little bit warmed up, and then we'll see how she acts. All right, we're back. Seems to be running okay. Still a little bit of a bog if you get on her. If you ease into it, she sounds good and takes off. If you just give her, she hesitates. So I'm gonna let this thing, I'll probably just leave it alone as far as the Phytech, and then wait till I can drive this thing a little bit more and see how it learns or whatnot, and then we can go in and make some, you know, they call it pro tuning, far from it with me making the adjustments, but we can make some adjustments to the Excel pump, and there's a few other things in there that will supposedly help with either hesitation or bogging when you're getting on it. So anyways, definitely running better after changing the plugs and points and whatnot. to live, huh? I mean, there was 5 inches of snow a couple days ago, but you know, you got to deal with a little bit of that to live here. But other than that, it's all right. So far, I wouldn't call it no race car or anything, but a fun little driver for sure. Meet you back at the shop. Got here in the Montana garage Sunday night. I didn't get much done today, spent some time with the family, and I'm just easily distracted. The Avs are in the playoffs, and I just got done watching them crush the Golden Knights in game 1 of the second round, so go Avs. But I need to get an oil pressure gauge on this thing, so that's kind of what I'm working on now. Like I said, there's a gauge in the car, and it had a plastic hose running through here somewhere, and there's a place down there to plug it in. There is just a plug in the hole right now. I should have brought like a pointer, but just under the distributor, a little brass plug right about there. That thing's kind of a bugger to get to, but I'm going to try to get to that one. If I can't, I mean, obviously I'd be able to get to it, but I don't want to like move the distributor and the coil and everything out of the way. Maybe the coil, that won't be that hard, but so I'm going to try to put it there. If I can't get that plug out, or if it's too big of a struggle, there is another little plug right here that you can use, and then that, you know, I'd have to route the line a little further. So I'm going to try to put it back there. That's probably where it was before. That's where the plastic line kind of went to and stopped. So at some point that line broke, and then I don't know if it was Dan or the guy, somebody years ago, just plugged the hole. So at least it wasn't squirting oil everywhere, so that was good. So I want to get a gauge on there though, so I can just kind of keep an eye on that. So that's what we're going to work on next. The oil pressure gauge to install. Nobody had any, like I've used on the 57 here, I got like 1/8 inch copper line. This 57 had, oh, I think I ripped it out. It had that plastic, or I don't know what, that nylon or what, I don't know what that line is made out of. But I must have had this size line on my oil pressure gauge in my 55, because that's the size fittings I have. So it seems a little big, but that's what I got. So that's what I think we're gonna make work. All right, so I removed the coil and I was able to get the little plug out of there. You can see the little hole down there in the back of the block. So now I have to make a new, use new fittings and a new line. So I think I said before, oh, my camera's kind of out of control here. This line's a little bigger probably than I wanted to use, but that's what I got. So, and I got the fittings for it, I believe. So let's see if we can put something together. What you doing, Moose? Did you find anything in the trunk? I guess those holes, somebody might have put them there for speaker holes, but Moose says they're cat trunk access. Silly thing. All right, we're making a little progress. Got the old gauge out. I guess, I don't know if it worked or not. It probably worked, but this was a Sun gauge. That's a SW Stewart Warner gauge. I had another Stewart Warner oil pressure gauge laying around, so I'm just going to put this one in there. So I got the fitting on there. You know, obviously I just got that one loose because we got to put the compression fitting in there. Hopefully I just didn't lose another one of those. Anyways, it's right here somewhere. And then I got this fitting for the back of the block. I stole this out of the back of my other motor for my 55. This is the one that was in that car, I believe. Or no, there was a plug in there, so this is just another one I had. But this is for a smaller line. This is for the size line I have, and like I said, this was in here, so that must be the size line I was running on the 55. So we're gonna throw that in there. I wish I would have noticed, I got some thread tape on there, but I wish I would have noticed that the you know, it's a little stripped out. Hopefully it's good enough to get her tightened up in there. I would have spent 25 cents on a new one if I would have noticed that. But anyways, that's what I got. We'll put that in and then try to figure out how much line we need and find my little roundy round tubing cutter and run some line. Well, so much for that plan. This little fitting that I showed you earlier is too stripped out on the, you know, the threads are fine, but the spot where I got to put the wrench or the socket on it to tighten it, I can't get her tight back there. I can get the thread started, and you know, then the socket just spins on there, so it's not going to get tight and it's going to leak oil if I put that in there. So I got to get another one of those, or I'll dig around in the shop here, but I don't think I have another one. And tomorrow is Memorial Day, so I don't know. I would assume probably the hardware store will be open, but being as I mentioned that tomorrow is Memorial Day, I know by the time you guys see this, it'll be, you know, long past Memorial Day, but hopefully everybody takes a little bit of time. Everybody's got a long weekend. Not everybody, you know, but a lot of people have a long weekend, and, you know, they're out camping and barbecuing and all that stuff. But that's, take a few moments to remember what Memorial Day is about. It's about the, you know, the soldiers that, it's not really like just thanking all the soldiers, but it's about remembering the soldiers that didn't make it back. So take a few minutes to do that tomorrow if you don't do it already. I personally served a little time in the U.S. Army. It's been a long time ago, and I served during, you know, wartime, but I'm not a combat veteran. I did not serve, you know, in any combat, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I know not a lot, but a few guys that did after I got out that didn't make it back. So anyways, everybody think about that tomorrow. And I know I'll take a few minutes to think about it, and then yeah, I'll try to find a new one of these so I can finish putting this darn oil pressure gauge in. Next day, and I just got done putting the oil pressure gauge in. Had to run to the hardware store and get a new fitting. Got that in. I'll have to kind of do something a little fancier with the line here, but for now it's just in through the firewall. So that's fired up, and check if we got any oil pressure and see if we got any, if we do have oil pressure, which I assume or hope we do, and make sure our line's not leaking anywhere. There we go. So we got good oil pressure, 60, what would that be, 64-ish, 63, a little over 60 at idle. Don't see anything down there as far as oil at the fitting. Nothing there as far as oil at the fitting, so we'll let her run for a while and keep an eye on that. Make sure she's not leaking. One more thing checked off the list.